What's up everyone, it's Marco here, and while we wait for some really exciting mobile launches, I thought we would take a look at the latest slew of Apple accessories. Why? Because they only come around like once in a blue moon. This is the Apple Magic Keyboard, the first full redesign and refresh of Apple's wireless keyboard since 2007. Finally, the new Apple keyboard comes with technologies that make living with it a whole much more nicer. Overall, the packaging of the Apple Magic Keyboard is very similar to the last generation keyboard. The box itself is fairly smaller due to the smaller footprint of this new keyboard, and once you peel off the shrink wrap and pull it off, you slide off a top cover exposing the new Apple keyboard wrapped in a frosted plastic sleeve. It reveals its smaller footprint, and also the second you pick this thing up, you notice how much weight it has shed. Underneath the keyboard lies a Lightning to USB cable, which means finally the Apple keyboard no longer relies on AA batteries for power. The new Magic Keyboard has a built-in lithium-ion battery that should provide weeks of battery life per charge, and it charges with the Lightning connector on the back side of the keyboard. Now to the keyboard and its functionality. The keyboard itself is definitely a bit smaller than the last generation keyboard. It's shorter, but it also allows the buttons to be more spaced out and larger than the last generation. For example, we have larger left and right arrow keys, the escape button and the full function keys are much larger than the last generation, and just overall the buttons are more friendly to your fingers thanks to its new spacing. We also see the keyboard is significantly slimmer than the last generation keyboard. That's due to the internal battery and the lack of the battery dome on top of the last generation keyboard. This means the keyboard sits flatter on the table, which means ergonomically your wrist is flatter on the desk. Also, the font is new, which now directly correlates to the font of El Capitan and iOS 9. Now, things that didn't change on the new keyboard are things like color options, still only available in the silver and white color option. Also, the keys are not backlit, which is a huge downside in my opinion. But what has changed are the keys. Not exactly the mechanism, which is still a scissor mechanism and not the butterfly mechanism found on the MacBook. The keys on this new keyboard have a much shorter and more precise travel. It's basically all the goodness of the lower profile keys off the MacBook without the lack of feel. It's a nice mix between the old chiclet style keyboard and the new butterfly dome switch keyboard on the latest MacBook. This results in a very satisfying sound and response when typing away, and the best thing is the keyboard allows power users to wail away on the keyboard at light speed. It's definitely a huge step up from the last generation keyboard and adds a bit more response from the keyboard on the MacBook. But the best update by a mile to this keyboard is the rechargeable battery. It's rated to last a few weeks per charge, but with the included Lightning cable you can use and charge at the same time, and it charges up in about 2 hours. Now for $100, it's a pretty steep price for a Bluetooth keyboard, but if you're buying any of the new iMacs, you automatically get one. But it's definitely worth the upgrade, especially if you've been using the old keyboard for such a long time. But thanks for watching, hope you enjoyed this review, and as always, my name is Marco Hanna, and I'll catch you in the next video.